Okay, here we go. Alright, let's try this again, because now I gave an entire whole introduction and, and basically spoke into nothing. I forgot to change my settings back. Alright, let's try this one more time. Hello everyone, hello chat, hello Jacob, Charlie Fox, True Alfarius, Mediker, who else is here? Carlos Manuel, and the rest of you. Now let me try doing that introduction all over again. Alright, this is most likely going to be the final stream. Basically, this is the bonus plus finale episode. Now you're all probably wondering what bonus means. Well, the finale, basically beating Zero Miss, takes about 10 minutes, not very long. And then when you add in the ending, that makes it 20 minutes in total. So, you know, that would make for a very short stream. So, if you look at the screen now, you'll probably notice that it looks very different. And there is a reason for this. Right now I have the Game Boy Advance version of Final Fantasy IV, because we are going to do the bonus segment before we do the finale. So basically, what we're going to do right now, this is not in the Super Nintendo version, but as we move up here, we have Cid's engineers telling Cecil to return safely. Here we have the women from Troya. Charlie Fox, I am doing very well. Basically, over the weekend, I went through the Game Boy Advance version of the game, and I made sure to get up to this point. Here we have the dwarves, and here we have all the other party members. Let's try talking to one. They'll do what they can to help. Let's back out for a second. And we are going to get a unique cutscene. Alright, so this white mage mentions... Hello, Ultra Zappy. This white mage mentions that the Mount Ordeals has an issue going on right now. It's been covered in a sinister cloud. Yeah, I hear more and more people are getting on Parlor. I'm considering it myself. Okay, with that sinister cloud news out of the way, we are going to basically follow up on that. Hello, Control Commerce. Yes, this is only in the other versions of the game. This is only in the GBA, PSP, and PSP versions. Basically, I'm going to switch back to the SNES version to fight Zero Miss after we do this dungeon. Okay, and yes, we are up to the challenge. This was basically to add extra equipment for the other characters. So we are going to take Yang with us. Let's switch Edge out, and we now have Yang. We'll take Cid, and replace King. Yes, Cid and Yang are both incredible damage dealers. And we will take Edward. We'll replace Rosa. And, do I want to take one of the mages right now? The battles are a lot tougher without Rydia. Rydia is pretty useful. You know what? Let's do it. We'll take one of them with us. Not Porum. Yes, Pollen. And we'll switch Rydia out for Pollen. No? Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay. As you can see, we've left most of the base Super Nintendo team behind. And I do have equipment for everyone. I basically disarmed everyone else to make sure that these guys would have stuff to use. So let's do... No, the wizard's hat is better, is it? No, Twist Headband is better. Yeah, and besides, we'll be getting better equipment in the Cave of Trials as we go through. No, Cecil is fine. Yeah, Edward is like really, really great in this game. He's really great in the DS version. They did a lot for him. A Rune Armlet, and Yang has a Cat Claw. Yeah, we basically want to give him 2 Cat Claws. Yeah, Palom learns spells really fast in this version. He's great as well. The only thing he's lacking compared to Iridia is basically summons. Alright, we are good. Alright, let's get this bonus episode on the road. Yeah, they added this run function to the remakes. Believe it or not, the GBA version was not the first remake. The GBA version is actually based on the WonderSwan version of the game. And it basically ramped up everything that was in that version. Basically, it took the visuals and the music and made it look better. Here we are at Mount Ordeals, and you notice that it's quite dark compared to before. I'm not sure how dual-wielding harps would work out. With what hands do you play the harp with? You might need to grow like an extra set of arms. Alright, we have a new area open to us. Man, Edward's HP is low, but that will be less of a concern as we go forward. But yeah, it's really cool how you can form your team in this one. Yeah, 4 Heroes of Light I still have to play. And here is a new room that looks like the area where Cecil became a paladin. And we head up, and welcome to the Cave of Trials. Alright, this bit has a lot of enemies we've seen before, for the most part anyway. A lot of them were in the Summoner Dungeon, and the, whatchamacallit? The Summoner Dungeon, and the Sylvan Cave. And there are a lot of secret passageways, such as... right here. There we go. Yeah. Around these rocks. And we have a red jacket. That is Edward's best armor in the game. And will serve us quite well. Christian Lopez, no. Basically, I'm doing the bonus content from the Game Boy Advance version. Glad you could join us. And then after I do this dungeon, I'm gonna turn back to the Super Nintendo 1 and defeat Zeromus. And by the way, so basically in between episodes, I wanted to make sure that I could beat Zeromus, because I noticed last time that he wasn't really that easy. The 1 speed was really giving me trouble. And so I actually had to level up a bit. Because, man, he is fast. He is absurdly fast. It's crazy. A lot of the strategies you could use on lower speeds were just not options on 1 speed. Yeah, it just was not something you could do. Because, like, what you could do is you could throw a potion at him, or use a white magic or black magic spell once he begins shaking. So that when he does Big Bang, his intelligence is actually lowered. But the problem with 1 speed is that since he counters with Flare first, the time between his counter and and Big Bang is so short that someone will basically die. Yeah, it's really hairy. Charlie Fox, yes, I have learned Holy. that much I will say. I've gotten Rose to that level. We will not be using Holy in the fight, however, because Rosa really spends a lot of time healing. Because on one speed, Zeromus's attacks just come in one after the other, and it's just necessary for, you know, for her to keep everyone's HP up. Yeah, familiar enemies. Head up here. 2B2. We have a remedy. Oof. Yeah, this is gonna be tough because I have no one to make me float. But, they don't do that much damage at this point, thankfully enough. Was hoping they'd go down a little easier. Sid, once he gets his best stuff, really does become a great damage dealer. Oh, and if you're wondering about speeds, in the original Super Nintendo, turning it to 1 speed, as we've seen, only makes the enemy faster. That is not true in the Game Boy Advance and PSP versions. If you turn the speed up faster, it makes everyone faster, your characters included. So, like, it doesn't really act as an extra damage modifier, as it did in those games. Remakes are interesting. Like, certain things are not sold in shops. Such as the X potions, for example, are not sold on the moon. I was surprised to find that out. Anyway, it'll be a few common battles until we get our next piece of equipment. So how are you all? Are you all doing well? Are you all playing anything interesting? Get anything nice off of the Steam sale? Let me know in the chat. You know what, I'm very behind on Tales games, so I have not played Berseria yet, but you know, I've heard good things. Like, one of the issues with the RPG genre is that there are not enough games where adults are the main characters. And in Berseria, you know, the main character, and most of the main characters, I believe, are all adults. So, you know, that is a good reason to play it. I also hear it's tonally a little different from the others. But yeah, when it comes to Tales, I've played Fantasia, and I think that's it. Yeah, really behind. I own a copy of Vesperia for PS4, but that's about it. And Tales of Graces F is on my list of games to get before they're out of stock forever. No, I don't think I want to go there yet. Alright, I know where I'm going. Ah, Jacob, I haven't played Darkest Dungeon yet. Oh, which version of Dragon Quest III are you playing again? The NES version? No matter what, Dragon Quest III is really nice to play. Here we have some bats and a vampire lady. You know, common things you see. Let's... Oh, I should have rearranged his magic. That's fine. Yeah, these guys absorb lightning. As long as you don't use that, you should be fine. That's right. Yeah, you know, I always forget that so much stuff is on the Switch now. It's great. I really wish they'd put the Romancing Saga games on the Switch on sale. Like, because I don't know if the PC versions have resolved their issues yet. Oh, yeah, Ultra Zappy. I love Seiken Densetsu 3. Always a great game. Like so many, like, interesting party combinations that, you know, you could work together to create good synergy. Yeah, I've heard good things about Tales of the Abyss. Though, if you're one of those people who, like, need a likable main character, I hear the MC is a bit unlikable at first. Alright, the coronet is Palom's best helmet. Defense goes down a little compared to the headband, but magic attack and defense do go up, so it is worth it. Let's head here. There we go. It's a bit of a weird wall. A phoenix down. Could always use an extra. Yeah, this dungeon's really nice for getting everyone back into the game. Yeah, Jacob, that's a good point. Strategy RPGs are usually the exception. They usually do have adult characters. And some really good ones. Like Fire Emblem 7, really great adult characters. And Path of Radiance has like a main character in between his teen and adult years. But everyone around him is an adult, and his story in that game is basically that, he is becoming an adult. Whoops, down there. Phoenix down, bird up. Is that a reference to Twitch Plays Pokemon? Yeah, that's one of the things I will mention in my video, Charlie. That Final Fantasy IV has a lot of adult characters as well. Most of the characters are adults. Like, in a way, this game could not be made today. Because, like, every Final Fantasy today, has to have, like, a teenage blonde boy. Oh, Charlie Fox, I don't know if Ultra Zappy got it from Twitch Plays Pokemon, but they named their Pidgey during that bird up, and like it kind of became a meme. Because like, the chat during Twitch Plays Pokemon basically came up with like their own lore and like backstory for all the Pokemon in that game. Here we have a secret passage. And we have a cat hood. I think that's Porum's best helmet, and she is not with us. So we'll hold on to that. Christian Lopez. I believe Cecil is supposed to be 20, actually. That's what I remember reading. That both Cecil and Kane and Rosa... that Cecil, Kane, and Rosa were all 20. I'll have to double-check my sources, of course. Alright, back up. And onto the main path. Okay, I'm not bothering with the Evil Dreamers. They take a bit long for my taste. The Summoners, however, we can plow through. Oh, welcome everyone else who is coming in. I see we have more and more people. As you can see, we're doing the bonus content from the Game Boy Advance version first, and then once we have cleared it, we'll switch back to the Super Nintendo version to deal with the Zeromus. And I'll explain again, what exactly happened with, in between episodes with that, because the Zeromus on 1 speed is tough. Charlie Fox, it's not so much the second half of Bravely Default, but like the last stretch of the game. It's basically that you have to repeat certain events over and over again, but it depends on how you play the game, because it has a lot of bonus content before you do, in between all of those things you do over and over again. So it didn't bother me because there were so many side bosses. But if you're just looking to complete the game, it does feel like you're doing, the same thing over and over and over again. Lightning is 500 plus and Lightning Returns. Yeah, you know, I guess I would put her pretty high up there in terms of age. Though the characters from Lost Odyssey, they're like 1,000 years old. Jacob, was that team hard to work with? Having, you know, a merchant? I always find like I want as much brute force as possible when I start out in a game like Dragon Quest III or Dragon Quest IX. Let's so I keep spamming because these enemies are easy, but a little magic would probably make this faster. Christian Lopez, most people know about, you know, the alternate endings in BD. Like, information just tends to travel fast these days on the internet. Okay, there we go. And that leads to the funny mask. Who uses the funny mask? No, it's not you. Not you. Okay, that's what they call it in this version? I believe in, like, the PSP, it's translated the White Tiger Mask, which honestly is cooler and more fitting, honestly. You know, Ultra Zappy, I need to get back into, Dragon Quest of the Stars. I just found the combat kind of boring. It was just like a very uninteresting version of the vocation system. But, you know, I will try to get back into it. I would like to see, you know, where the game goes and how it concludes. Alright. Have Yang kick. I should check to see if that's even doing much damage. Because, like, a lot of the skills, they kind of have a bit of different effectiveness in this version. Like, I find that, Rosa's Prey is really a lot less useful in this version of the game. Okay. Just plowing through enemies till we make it to room 3. And this is an 8-room dungeon. Not very long at all. We'll probably have it out of the way in another half hour or so. Yeah, I remember the first episode of Final Fantasy Unlimited. Like, yeah, that came out so long ago. Yeah, that is, just to make sure I'm remembering it correctly, that is the one where the guy, like, summons stuff with his gun, right? Like, it was certainly an interesting idea, I'll give it that. If you want to see a bizarre anime, watch the sequel to, what is it? The sequel to Final Fantasy V. That is an interesting anime. It has one of the weirdest forms of fan service I think I've ever seen. It's just so what? You got a good laugh out of me for how weird it was. I hope that if they do a Dragon Quest III remake, that it's very customizable. That's what I want. Like, I really do want the customization from Dragon Quest IX to be, like, placed in a game like that. That's my hope. Honestly, I really wish the main character of DQ11 was customizable. Like, I sort of understand the reasons why he wasn't. We have the red cap now, and that is Edward's best helmet. Lower defense, but everything else necessary basically goes up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Charlie Fox, in Legend of the Crystal. I haven't watched that in a long time. I remembered picking it up from like a sunrise when I was a kid. Yeah, but really bizarre anime. Drakuzan. Yeah, try to forget but inevitably remember. At least it can be said that Final Fantasy V had a sequel. Quality in question, but hey, it got a sequel. Yeah, the funny mask. That's definitely one of the lesser translation concepts in the Game Boy Advance version. Let's... Oh, you know what? I gotta... Oh, Bio should be great on these guys. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I agree, Christian. DQ should have, customizable protagonists as a standard. I am hoping for more dialogue choices. Even if they're, they don't really matter, like Ys 8, I think that would, go a long way in helping the protagonist feel a little more alive in the 3D games. Because, when you make a 3D game, you do have to, design a silent protagonist a little differently. Oh gosh. Lots of encounters here. We'll run from that one. Was that a thing in in the Unlimited anime? A monk girl who forgets how to fight? Yeah, I know a lot of people can't really get into that idea, but the thing with blank slate games is, you got to make up your own story. And that was that was always interesting to me. Here is a courageous suit. I think that's Yang's. Yeah, a lot of bad translations for the post-game stuff here. Again, the PSP version has different translations. Okay, just checking my notes. Alright. Here we go. Okay, we have a great Marlboro, and it might be a little tricky because I don't have rune equipment on, so hopefully it will die. Okay, and one guy got bad breath. That's not good, but yeah, hopefully it does not get worse. Let's see if he can be toted. Come on, Palom. Yes, he can. He can be toted as well. Oh, well, he had Doom. Thankfully, he never got to use that. And everyone gains levels. Very good. And look at all those status elements on Sid. Yeah. That's what it means to run into a great Marlboro. Actually, now that I'm here, I'm going to use my golden apple and silver apples on Edward because he needs them the most. His HP is just abysmal. Let's get the siren. Ooh, back encounter. I always find it more useful to run when back encountered in 4 because it takes so long for the ATB to rise. Yeah, and that's another nice thing though about the remakes of 3. They do include the bars from later games. Alright. Yep, and another one. Yeah, I also find back attacks happen much more often in the GBA version. It's really annoying especially in the Sylvan Cave. Yeah, that was brutal. I was raging a bit, I admit, at how many back attacks I was getting. Let's head up. Okay, yeah. This is a terrible encounter. But we shall deal with it. Poor Sid. Once again, becoming toaded. There we go. Hopefully that'll help. That's checking something. Okay. Yeah, DQ3 didn't have many comments. And so it would have been nice if like something like 9 would have improved on that concept. Yeah, I'm all for DQ3 having another blank slate game, but maybe you could like manipulate the comments of what your characters get as they go on. Or that maybe like whatever personality they have, the party chats will be according to that gameplay personality. That would be cool. What if you wanted to defeat Malroth, but he said full heal? Oh, what do you mean? It's an interesting question. Like, what do you mean by he said full heal? Okay. Yeah, these are much easier than when you first encounter them. First meeting these guys, it's not pleasant. Let's Firaga that guy. Confused. Yeah, the nice thing about Edward, his status elements are always great. And he's very fast. Like, if you're noticing, Yang and Edward are getting turns extremely quickly. Because their speed rates are really incredible, and that makes them like very useful during the end game, if you choose to use them. Oh, if he casts full heal on himself, yeah, that's kind of despair-inducing because Malroth is tough. Malroth is hard. I would try to befriend Malroth. That's what happens on Dragon Quest Builders 2, right? Befriend the final boss and convince him that taking over the universe isn't worth it. Or do you mean like he full heals me? Jeez, lots of encounters here. Alright, earthquakes. Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run. No, leave me alone, I just healed. And I didn't bring a dedicated healer with me. There we go. Alright. Anything over here? There's a way through here. Oh my gosh, this is like the 5th back attack. Yep, well, you know, you get to see it, for yourself. Oh gosh, Sorrow. He does that in the original Dragon Quest IV as well. He'll just heal himself and you'll sit there and be like, really, guy? Oh, and by the way, we'll be seeing that with Zeromus today. You won't see it. He does it silently. But yeah, if Zeromus is within the 12,000 to 16,000 range, he does a full heal on himself. All right, we have the light robe. No, not the light robe. No, never. He already has a light robe. I have the Lord's something. Is that for Parum? Maybe it is? Because I'm not seeing anyone else who can use it. Okay, I guess that's Parum's. Yeah, Andrew Koss, it is a little weird going to the GBA version if you've played the PSP. I admit that I don't like the sprites in the PSP version. You guys know that. It's kind of a thing with me. Like, they just look a little too cartoonish, in my opinion. Okay, and we have the Sage's Robe. So, let's, I believe that's Palom's. And Palom's Palom's whole thing in the in the after years is that he wants to become a Sage. So I guess that makes sense. Preemptive strike, that's nice. Let's see if we can toad him fast enough. Attack. Toad. Ultra Zappy, like, you're one of those rare guys who loves Nera. I love how outspoken you are about it. I love that, you know, you're out there with your opinion. You're saying that Nera is best girl, even though the rest of us don't agree. But you know, props to you for basically, like, you know, dying on that hill. The DS version of FF4, yeah. I will be playing that by myself soon. It's been a while. Though the Steam version does improve on it a little bit, I think. I know that it does have an easier mode, in case you don't want to deal, like, with the super hard difficulty. Alright, 5th room. Let's head up. After... Oh, yeah, I don't have mini, so I will not deal with those guys. Because you can just, like, mini them. And they're basically, like, done with. Ugh. And of course, Altharius stands up for Deborah. I guess I'll say that I'm, you know, I'm the Bianca guy. Bianca is best girl. Let's... You know what, let's make use of Cecil's magic. Get Edward back up. And Yang could use a little too. Man, Sid has been taking some hits. But, you know, Sid is kind of based on the Viking class. So, you know, he can take those hits. You know, he's a pretty durable guy. Yes, Sid is another good contender for the final battle. And oh my gosh, this is an encounter that I don't want to remain in. Please don't bad breath me. No, don't do that. This is the 3rd time that Sid has been hit with bad breath. It's becoming a running joke now. Thanks for taking one for the team, Sid. We really appreciate it. You being pigged and minied and everything else, again and again. Like, the kids really appreciate it. Yeah, Christian, I feel bad for, I can't remember his name. But, you know, I feel bad for him as well. I feel for the guy. Because, you know, he legit loves Nera. And, you know, it's like, oh, man, you know, I don't want that guy to, you know, to, lose out on the girl, you know, that he cares about so much. You know, why am I going to take that away from him? Attack. Okay, these guys can be pigged as well. Alright, that's nice. Yeah, man, pig is an underrated status. I feel like more games need to let you turn enemies into all kinds of animals. I feel like RPGs have been slacking in this regard. Like, why is it only the older games, let me turn you into midgets, frogs, and pigs? Oh, Wiseman, those sprites in 5 and 6 on Steam, I hear that it was like a process of, like, flattening them. I personally don't like it. I like good old hand-drawn sprites. I think they just look better, and there's something classy about them. Up here, I believe. No? That's not it. Oh, wait. Yeah. So notice how the light is shaped here? Yeah, that's where you need to go. I think they're all very similar. Pig, Frog, and Mini. I know there are, like, defensive, there are, like, definitely defensive and attack, deficits once you get hit with them. I think it's just that different enemies are susceptible to different ones. Just checking the chat. Marriage is a gamble, so Nera is fair game. What, Wendy's? I do not agree with that at all. Bianca is best girl. If Bianca is the wonderful childhood sweetheart who you tackled a haunted mansion with, and has a great old accent in the remakes. All right, we get the Grand Helm. That is Sid's best helmet. But welcome Wendy's and anyone else who has arrived. And we get the Grand Armor, which is Sid's best armor. So, you know, obviously in Japan, you know, Bianca's pretty popular, right? And Nera wasn't, which is interesting, because, like, there isn't much story with Nera at first. And that's because in Japan, characters like Nera are usually automatically popular. Like, that sort of character type is very popular over there. So it actually surprised Hori when Bianca became as popular as she did. Alright, back around. Yes. Another great Marlboro. I've gotten everything on this floor. Okay. No one bad breath yet, thankfully. And yeah, if you notice, this version of the game, it definitely runs slower. The ATBs feel like they're a bit janky and slow. In fact, like, there are some programming issues with this one and the PSP version. For example, certain characters get so fast that the game's ATB can't keep up with them, and so they won't get their turn right away. And so one solution to that is actually to turn the speed down. So that actually helps you get your turns, gets your turns more fairly. It's really weird, yeah. The programming was not perfect in this version. Here we have quite a few enemies. So, if you could add a status affliction to turn... Ooh, big mistake there. To turn someone to an animal, what would it be? I'd like the cow status. I want to turn all of the enemy monsters into cows. And then maybe if you had someone who is like a farmer class, he could milk them all afterwards. That would be a cool idea. Yeah, I'm sticking to that. Does the game guilt trip you into marrying Bianca? I'm not sure I would say it guilt trips you. But like, there is a lot in her favor, I will say that. With Nera, it's basically that, you know, she's the kind of person who's usually, like, favored in Japanese culture. Like, not her herself, but her character type. Whereas Deborah is, like, to keep up with the modern tsundere trend. Pig, there we go. Yeah, like, speed is very weird in the remakes, especially due to the ATB glitch. Like, for the first half of the game, if you're just playing on normal speed, there are times where you'll attack like 5 times, and the enemy won't get in a hit. And that goes true for a lot of the bosses as well. Like, against Cognazo, I think he used Tsunami on me once, and I pretty much wiped the floor with him in like 5 minutes. If they do a DQ... Pig didn't work. If they do a DQ5 remake, I would not mind if they took some of the stuff, not all of the stuff, but some of the stuff with Nera and putting it in the game. Yeah, because that was one of the better parts of the movie, in my opinion. They did do a good job with Nera, and showing like why she is such a good person. Well, you know what? It's not just a childhood friend thing in 5. It's that it's a really well done childhood friend thing. Like, it is extremely charming. And I think that, like, it catches everyone off guard. Just how well they did it. And, you know, that's always been the appeal of 5. Okay. Let's head on up to the next room. We are actually almost done here. Here we are at B7. One moment. Just checking my notes, guys. Okay. Aerith is not a childhood friend, but she is the girl next door. That's the trope she fills. Just taking a drink. Okay. Kind of wish this place had a few more new enemies outside of Great Marlborough. Would have made it more interesting. Charlie in a fight, Tifa would probably win. Though in terms of likability, I admit I have a soft spot for Aerith, you know. Nice gal and all. Full-on waifu wars in the chat. Though I don't think, like, I have a particularly strong opinion between Tifa and Aerith. Like, I can see the merits behind both, but I'm also kinda not interested in either. Alright, while we're here, and, you know, we're just fighting some battles, and collecting the last of the items, I beat Spider-Man for the PS4 for the first time, right? And so the reason why, like, I never played it before was because I got tired of Western open world games. And, I was like, you know what, I don't want to play another one until, like, the jadedness has gone away. And so, like, I decided, and then eventually, a few weeks ago, I was like, you know what, I feel like playing as Spider-Man, swinging through the city. So I pick it up, right? And it literally is like Western open world game, the game, but now you can swing. And so yeah, I admit that, like, I just did not enjoy it. It wasn't a bad game, and I did enjoy some parts of it. It's always fun to play as Spider-Man, even in, you know, a lower quality Spider-Man game. But I just found myself being like, okay, you gotta find the backpacks, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It was like, I feel like I've done this millions of times. You have to unlock the map by going to the tower thingy. The side quests have minimal story to it. It's just like, I wish they would do a better job with open world games. Jacob, I would say that about a lot of NES games. There is so much influence there that no one really acknowledges in the West. Like, a lot of people don't acknowledge, you know, how much influence Final Fantasy III had on future Final Fantasy games. It's majorly influential, and that game is still popular in Japan to this day. Oh, didn't notice that Sid got bad breath again. Alright, Sid. There you go. We shall release you from your froggy coil. Oh, welcome, Freddy. And yeah, it's like, it's every Western open world game you've played. Haven't played Maximum Carnage. No, I did once. I did play it once, I believe, at a friend's house. Alright. Oh, so we picked up 2 Mega Elixirs there. Those were not in the original game, actually. Those were added to the remakes. And we are here at the end. Let's use a cottage. Oh, yeah, Jonathan. I do, even though I'm a Bianca guy, I do think that, Deborah, is fun to play as. And that her unique text is really great. Like, it's fun to, like... Here's the thing. A lot of people misunderstand Deborah's party chats. They think she's just being mean, but you really have to read through the lines of what she's saying. Because she's actually complimenting the main character a lot. It just doesn't really come through the first time you read it. But like when you read it, it's like, she's like, oh, so you can like protect me now. And when you read through that, you kind of begin to realize, oh, she trusts you to be her protector. Yeah, she's putting on that whole tough girl, in control facade. But when you actually like read in between the lines, all of her party chats really say how much she likes you. Alright, let me just check my notes. So we're here at the end, and we basically have a bunch of bosses. Okay, and they will give us the best weapons. Here we have Edward's best harp. And yes, it is against the Gigas Worm. Gigas Worm doesn't have many weaknesses. What he does have, however, he doesn't have many weaknesses, and he counters all physical attacks. Well, but we do have things we can do to him. Hold on, item. I should have some... Yes, I'll use a Spider Silk on him to slow him up. We'll defend, and we basically want to use hits that count. He does some major damage though, as you can see. And yeah, he can do quite a bit. We'll use Edward to heal. Yeah, the higher level spells work on him as well. Yeah, Yang's will do great damage on him. Yeah, that's a good 6,000 damage. Not sure how worth it is to have Sid attack, considering it pulls in a counter. Yeah, I might have him defend. Yang and Cecil, plus Palom's magic are really the things that help here. Legend of Mana is a really good game though. Yeah, it doesn't hold your hand, but it is worthwhile as a kind of very open game. I would, yeah, maybe give it another shot. It is quite worthwhile. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. I accidentally used the potion on the boss. Ooh, lower side of the hit range there. Yeah, Drakenzan, DQ gets referenced a lot. I don't know how into the Yakuza games you guys are, but in Yakuza 0, there is a pretty big Dragon Quest III reference, because Yakuza 0 takes place in 1988, which was the year Dragon Quest III came out. And so there's an entire side quest based around a kid who is buying a copy of Akari Quest 3, which is a stand-in for Dragon Quest 3, and it basically gets stolen over and over again. It's really interesting. Yeah, Charlie Fox, I will check it out later. Yeah, that's true. A lot of isekai, all have Dragon Quest references. That is true. This Gigas Worm has quite a bit of HP. Hopefully she'll be dead in a second. Okay, good. Sid is not dead. Haven't seen Goblin Slayer, but yeah, I can easily imagine it has a reference. Okay, we'll defend. Probably should have bought more high potions. Really wish X potions could be bought in this version, but it is what it is. Jonathan, maybe. It's always a possibility. But you know, even though Final Fantasy 1 did marginally better in sales, it still wasn't by too much. Like, it's not as if everybody played Final Fantasy 1, so who knows? Okay, and we get Apollo's Harp. There we go. And we'll equip that on Edward. So the Apollo's Harp has two benefits to it. It is Fire Elemental, and it does 4 times damage to dragons. Mimic. I'm actually doing the one of the bonus dungeons from the GBA version, and then we're gonna go back to the SNES version and beat Zeromus. So we're almost done here. I just have to... Where are my cottages? There we go. I do like Dragon Quest 1 for its atmosphere. It's one of those games that really made you feel the loneliness. I would say that and the Metroid titles are really good at that. Let's save. Yeah, Christian, it was a mistake, though I do understand why they thought it wouldn't be useful. Like, I guess they were like, look, our 4 games didn't sell, what are we gonna do? Okay, I want to reconfigure the order. Now, here's the thing with the Apollo Harp. Apparently, yeah, Andrew just brought it up. It does not get full damage from the back row. Now, that really doesn't matter, to be honest. It does sufficient damage from the back row. But in certain situations, you may want to put Edward up front. Like, right now, actually, is a good time for that. So here's the thing with this dragon. This dragon is resistant to fire. It's resistant to fire, but it is a dragon. So it is simultaneously weak to and vulnerable to Edward's harp. And even with that, it did like 3,500 damage. So that should tell you, you know, how good Edward's harp is in this version. Or, you know, Edward's harp is for the end game. Because there are a lot of dragons in the final dungeon, and Edward just crushes them. The Storm Dragon is also weak to ice, as you can see. So yeah, that makes this one of the easier boss battles, assuming you know what you're doing. Yeah, they did come out towards the end of their lifespan, so a lot of people didn't play them. Though 7 was bought quite a bit. It did do pretty alright in sales. Okay, we get the Hand of the Gods. Yang's best weapon. And we will equip him with that. Cat Claw and one Hand of the Gods. Alright, and we will heal up and do the next fight. I have a ton of cottages. Easy to get more. I have more than enough money. So it's not an issue. Welcome everyone who just entered the chat. Thank you for joining us. All the gods shared one hand. Yep, they all jump on one hand. Let's save. Alright, yes. You know, if you skip all the text in this game and stuff, it goes by really fast. I was able to like get to this point in the game in a weekend. Let's switch the cat claw for a thunder claw. Let's we're gonna put Edward in the back row again. The setup is more useful this way. And let's do the next boss. Good question, Menaker. I do not know if the duplication trick would do that for Yang. Okay, Yang is great here because he has a Thunder Claw. And he'll basically do quite a bit of damage to the Death Mech, who is weak against lightning. Yeah, really, that Gigas Worm, it's really one of the easier bosses here. The other ones have a lot of specific weaknesses. There's just one of the other bosses I'm a little concerned with, but hopefully it won't go too bad. Yeah, Edward's speed stat is crazy. He's getting like a turn like every 2 seconds. Just look at that. What did the driver mean by enslaved, Charlie? It's an interesting comment. Just looking at the chat. Oh my gosh, Cecil fell. What a rarity. Yeah, let's get Cecil back up. Come on, Cecil. Nap time is over. Let's Thundaga. Ultra Zappy, I had the exact same idea. Or like an idea basically in the same ballpark. Like, that in my opinion, the upper world of 3 is the Zenithian world. That's what I've always wanted. And I'm hoping that Dragon Quest XII makes that connection. Just looking at the chat. Because, like, you know, the Zenithian sword is in Dragon Quest XI. It's the Super Sword of Light. You can see, like, the design similarities. So yeah, it would be cool if, like, they could, like, link all the worlds together finally. That would be nice. Yes, that is Cid's best weapon, the Thor Hammer, and that is a huge increase in attack power. Well, I've lived in New York. I would not say that I'm a literal slave, maybe a tax slave. We have like a city tax and a state tax here. It's brutal, guys. It can be quite brutal. Like, everything here costs more than, like, everywhere else. Okay. Let me do a Retron save, since I have not done one of those in a while. Whoops. Hold on. There we go. Okay, here's the thing. In order to get the best weapons and fight the boss, you need to have the corresponding character here. So these are for Param and Palom. But as you can see, we only have Palom. So we can only do 1. But at least you got to see 4 of the 5 bosses. So this is a pretty tough one. Okay. Yeah, no, this one's the one for yes, the one we don't have. Here we go. Yeah, this can be a tough fight because this has a glitch. Basically, you see you can't attack her in the middle. Oh, that is a glitch. That is not supposed to happen. They fixed that in the PSP version. So in order to attack the boss, you have to use all hitting attacks. That's why it's kinda good to have Rydia and Palom here at the same time. But, you know, we'll deal with it. Let's see how Yang's kick does. Hopefully not too bad. But yeah, it does drag down the speed of this fight. As it basically leaves a lot, you know, a lot in the hands of very few characters. Oh, okay, interesting. And the Master Flan here will revive the other Flans in a bit. They reform a lot faster in the PSP version, but that's because they fixed the glitch. So that, you know, you can constantly attack the Master Flan without issue. Just looking at the chat. Oh, Wiseman? Yes, I switched over to the GBA version for the bonus content, which is the Cave of Trials, and then after that we will be switching back to the SNES to kill Zeromus. Okay, Quake. Because, like, if I just did Zeromus for this stream, we'd be done in like 10 minutes, and it would be a pretty short and uneventful stream. Thankfully, Palom's Quake is really helping things go along here, because without it, we wouldn't be able to like even attack the boss. Okay. Oh yeah, Ultra Zappy Zoom is a good choice. You could just go anywhere with that. Okay, you have to kill at least, in the GBA version, kill at least one Flan to attack the boss, but as you can see, the Flans don't stay dead for long. Yep, I agree. I like the Cecil sprite more than the Amano art. Completely agreed. There's something cool about it that really fits like a Knight of Light. Okay, Quake. Hopefully Cecil's attack will get in. No, she reformed right away. Yeah, this fight can be something. Just 3 RPGs to represent the history of the genre? Wow, do you mean like what how am I saying this? Like what represents what the most important games in the genre were in terms of its history? I guess Dragon Quest III would have to be among them. It is so historically important, like undeniably so, that I think like I'd have no choice but to include it on a list. Okay. Yes, got it. Okay. That was a lot less deadly than I thought it was. Than I thought it would be. And I get Triton's dagger. Interesting that his best weapon is a dagger and not a staff of some kind. Palom. Sure. Alright, let me just heal and save. You know, here's the interesting thing about Chrono Trigger, Menaker. Chrono Trigger is one of the best RPGs of all time, but I also think it's one of the least influential. I feel like that both it and 7 came out about the same time, and both it and 7 have there are very much the opposite in terms of design choices. And I think people chose to take influence from 7 rather than 4. And as a result, I do think Chrono Trigger, while amazing and excellent, and one of my all-time favorite RPGs, that it's not historically influential. Okay, we can't do the last boss because we do not have Palom. So we are done with this version of the game. Now let me try to do this without messing up this time and not accidentally hitting power off. I am going to switch back to the Super Nintendo version. So give me 1 minute to do that, guys. Alright, I'm loading it up. Give me a second, guys. It's a... Sometimes this thing can be tough to work. As a result, it can take a bit of shaking and moving. Okay, it's not cooperating. Give me a second. Alright, there we go. Alright, we are back in the Super Nintendo genre. Yeah, Christian Lopez, I wouldn't say 7 did more to the genre, because I think in a lot of ways, 7 helped hold the genre back. Not that 7 is a bad game, but I do think it had a lot of negative influence, in my opinion. Probably 10 more so than 7. I think a lot of the bad habits in JRPGs came from Final Fantasy X. Hold on. Okay, guys. Let me just make sure that I am ready. Okay. And yeah, let's head it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Reporting to Zemus. No, you don't need to do that. Alright, guys, here we go. Now, a lot of you weren't here before, so I'm going to explain this again while the cutscene goes on. So after the last stream, I decided to test fighting Zeromus myself so that I wouldn't waste time next time. And so basically, I was not able to win during the test runs of Zeromus. He's so fast. And a lot of like the usual strategies you can do to make the fight go by faster were not working at all. They were ineffective. Not only they were ineffective, they were helping me die faster. So for example, you can throw a potion or a white, or any item really, or a white magic or a black magic at Zeromus when he shakes. And so when you do that, it lowers his intelligence temporarily. And it lowers his intelligence temporarily. And when that happens, his Big Bang is weaker. But the problem is that he will always counter an item or magic with Flare. Or Flare or Bio. And when he does that, on normal speed, you have time to heal that before he uses Big Bang. But on 1 speed, you do not have that luxury. His Big Bang comes in right away and basically kills whoever was hit by the flare, and so they're basically dead. So like the key to this fight on 1 speed is to kind of breathe and take your time and react to what Zeromus is doing. It's you! Thank you, Ultra Zappy. That's one of my favorite all-time localization lines. Sumo you! It's you! Yeah. Just checking the chat as the cutscene continues. Thoughts together on it. But I do think 10, you know, did have a bit of influence that I did not like, especially in regard to writing. Like, I think one of my issues with 10, yeah, I'll say this. One of my problems with 10 is that everything is railroaded in the game. Everything is like what the developer wanted you to see, and there's very little agency on the part of the player. Whereas I think Chrono Trigger actually has a lot more player agency. And I feel like a lot of that did not carry over into future Square games. Medicare, I guess Fusoya, his beard hit the ground before he could grab the crystal. I guess that's it. But, yep, here we go. The power of friendship scene. Yeah, this was really big in early Final Fantasy. The friendship Kamehameha. Jonathan, that's a interesting description of what Zeromus is. Probably as good as any. Christian, I wouldn't say it's just Motomo Toriyama's philosophy. I would say that it's Yoshinori Kitase's philosophy. Because Toriyama was Kitase's protege. Okay, what I'm gonna do, in case I mess up, is I am going to create a save, just in case I get messed up. Yeah, Ultra Zappy, Marl does look like the merchant, from Dragon Quest III. Okay, here we go. Alright, first things first. Oh right, we have to... Cutscene is not over yet. No, Charlie Fox. Kawazu allowed for not player agency in terms of story. Well, you know what? He allowed for that too. Because his games were very non-linear. The Romancing Saga games, for example, are very non-linear. And so, you know, he did allow for a lot of player agency. With Kitase, with 7, you could see a mix of some of Sakaguchi's philosophy and some of Kitase's philosophy. But then as Sakaguchi really took a step back from Final Fantasy, you could see Katase's influence basically spread throughout the games. And so as a result, like, a lot of the things that make up, certain aspects of modern RPGs really started to show up more and more and more and more. Like, for example, the things that Final Fantasy VIII does to keep you on the path the developers want you to stay on are hilarious at times. Like, there will be this, like, convenient blockade of trucks so that you don't leave the area on the world map. It's pretty funny. Ten-head Yojimbo who can kill pennies in one hit. Okay, here we go. First things first, we skip Cecil's turn. Alright, skip Kane's turn. Ooh, a little nervous, but I think I got this. Come on, there we go. Have Rosa haste herself. Okay, we'll parry again. Come on, Zeroma, stop shaking. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna dodge for this turn. Waiting for Rosa to come up again. And by the way, if you try to attack him now in anticipation of the main fight, it will do 0 damage. And let's haste Cecil. The new gameplay, I actually think that comes from Sakaguchi. Because he came up with a job system and everything like that, and he was always open to like new ideas. So I think Kitase got that from Sakaguchi. I think Kitase's problem is that he never balanced his games for those systems well enough. Where's the crystal? Here we go. No, that's a siren. There we go. Alright, and here we go, guys. Want to get to Edge's turn right away. Okay, Zeromus revealed himself. Grr, erg. And here we go, final boss time. Throw kitchen knife. We wait. Big bang, we heal. Summon Bahamut. Attack with Cecil. Elixir Rydia, no, why did I Elixir Rydia? The flare is random. Okay, well, messed up a little there. Jump the gun. And there's the flare. Okay, it hit Rosa. That is not good. But it does lower his, intelligence, so the Big Bang coming in will be a little weaker. And yeah, Rydia should survive that pretty easily. Okay, Kiraja. And let's heal before the flare comes in. Because Zeromus does have a set pattern with 4 phases. There's Black Hole. Black Hole erases haste, protect, and anything else you have up. Let's heal Rosa. That's much more important right now. Let's jump with Kane. I think we are free to do that. You know, despite the fact that this is a 1 speed, the best way to handle Zeromus is to take your time. He's gearing up for another Big Bang. I'm going to let him get that off, and we will heal. Yep, this is pretty much an epileptic seizure here. This would not be fun to play in. Ooh! Did not expect Edge to go down like that. That's fine. Edge is important here because he's like throwing stuff. Rydia we use as support. We'll throw these elixirs around because we have so many. And you can buy them. Please don't kill Edge. Oh my god, you killed Edge. That was very disappointing. Okay, Black Hole. All buffs dispelled. Yeah, in a normal Zeromis fight, you would buff, but on 1 speed, you just don't have the time. Whoops, oh my gosh, I made a mistake there. Hit A too fast, that's okay. Let's make up for that. Well, at least Cecil is healthy. Okay. Alright, we have everybody at reasonable health. Throw. Here, we'll throw the Defender. Yeah, I saved a bunch of weapons so that they can be thrown. Which makes Edge super useful. He's always doing like 6,000 damage. Here comes the Big Bang. Come on, there we go. And we intercept it. Yeah, like once you begin to learn Zeromis' pattern, you can react to it on 1 speed. And yes, I did die quite a bit off screen. I want Edge at full HP, so I'm going to heal him. Yeah, Rydia kind of plays support sometimes during this fight. So like one of the things I like about the game is the symbolism of Meteor. Because, alright, here comes Flare. Because Meteor, you know, it's like this really special attack. It's treated special by the story. And, you know, it's difficult to use. And so, but what I like is that Rydia learns it naturally to sort of like symbolize. Let me not risk it. That's a little risky to use Bahamut. The counter might be coming a little at a shaky moment. Yeah, there's the Big Bang about to come in. Because you got to be really careful when you summon here. Waiting for the Big Bang. There we go, and we heal. Okay, just waiting to see what Rosa's heal looks like before I proceed. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh no, another Big Bang coming in. Yeah, these... There we go. Let's throw the Gungnir. Gungnir, yeah. Rosa. We need your turn right now. Let's attack because I do not want to waste time. I need that Kiraja really fast before someone dies. I think that Zeromis already did his full heal. I'm pretty sure we're well past that point. Let's throw the Avenger. Okay, Meteo. That means we're on a good pace here. But yeah, like I said, I like what Meteo represents. And let's finish this in style, guys. 99 MP. Rydia learned it naturally. He's firing Meteos at us. Let's take the representation of Rydia's potential and use it against him. Rydia, I would really appreciate it if you got that Meteo in. Rydia, we're waiting. Oh gosh, that Meteo spam. Zeromis does not have casting time. Casting time is what casting time with Zeromis? That's okay. We have Rosa. And here we go. Rydia with the Meteo, 9,999, and we have won, guys. This live stream has been completed. Zeromis has been defeated. He was defeated in style with a Meteo, the best way to take him down. Rydia learning her with her last spell, utterly defeating him, utterly destroying him, and it gives us the complete victory. This guy is dead. Well, he's not dead. Zeromus does not go away forever. But yeah, I do like, how Rydia naturally learns what is considered such an end game level spell, and I love that you can use it in the final battle just like that. Sorry I had to ignore the chat, guys, but that battle required like full concentration for me to get through it. Zeromus has been diagnosed with a mild case of death. Yeah, he'll get over it. He has a 99% survival rate when it comes to that. I will never die as long as there is darkness in the hearts of men. Erg. Yeah, a lot of Christian symbolism in this game. Zeromus basically is Satan. He corrupts and tempts the hearts of men. Yeah, Big Bang is gonna leave some scars. Yep, just a few. Charlie, I've thought about starting a Discord, but I'm not sure. I don't know how many people from the channel would start it. I'm gonna see how many people the Final Fantasy IV video brings in, and then maybe I'll decide. Or maybe, it'll be fun even if it is just a few of us at the start. So, yeah, I might begin one, because I just started using Discord. As long as there is darkness in the hearts of men, a very decent sequel will be made 20 years later. Fusoya with the last dialogue. I did feel a bit of glow, just a bit. And Edge fist bumps, and Rydia is like, it's a miracle Zebus did not end up using you. I love Rydia and Edge. Quite frankly, I thought the Final Fantasy IV sequel should have been about Rydia and Edge's kid. I thought that would have been the much more fun idea. Nope, my heart is filled with goodness. Well, we're gonna go back to Earth. Lots of responsibilities there. I look forward to the day we can meet again. Golbez decides to return with them. Good motivation. It will be a very long sleep. 20 years or so. I love this music. And this is the completion of, Cecil's arc. Because, he became a paladin. This defender, who started a new life. But, he kind of began to hate Golbez. And then suddenly he realizes this guy who he was angry at is his brother. And so now they're like... And this is very much a game about forgiveness and reinvention. So, and, thematically, there is one last thing for Cecil to do. Which we will see him do now. Which is, that Cecil has to kind of forgive his brother. And yep, Cecil bids him a goodbye. My brother. That's a good ending. I like that, that final piece of Cecil's arc is placed right there after facing the final boss. And it kind of is the last thing that Cecil does before he becomes king. and I do like the implications of that. Yeah, Mimic Warrior Artist, one of the great things about 4 is its minimalism. It manages to, like, do a lot with very little. Like, it takes what all games try to do in, like, 100 lines, but tries to do them in, like, as few lines as possible. Sometimes even just, like, one line, like that one. And we get the prophecy one last time. Alright, just looking to see whatever I missed in the chat. Alright, yeah, Zeromus does have an H.R. Geiger thing going on. But I think that's what makes him such a cool looking final boss. You know, I like Final Fantasy VIII systems. I think they're really cool. I think my issue is at A, it's not very good at teaching you them. Like the menu is not very well done, in my opinion. And the second thing is that the game is super easy to break. Like it's very easy to like learn like how to destroy that system and like get yourself really powerful. And that's my problem with Kitase's games. They're nowhere near as balanced as Sakaguchi's ones. Like Sakaguchi would make these great systems, but he would always like build them around each other. Whereas Kitase's games, he'd create a system, but wouldn't really build the enemies and the design around it. And that's always the issue. True Alfarius, that's cold, man. That could easily become a meme. Oh, I love how Polym is showing off here. It's like, yeah, man, that's the worst thing since Nera. Star Wars The Phantom Menace is the worst thing since Nera. Extra homework for you. Ultra Zappy on the subject of, you know, constantly dying and coming back to life as a protagonist. I like how in, like, Dragon Quest V, when you're getting married, the priest asks, do you take her as your wife for as long as you will be resurrected? That was a great little touch. that was a funny little touch. Because, like, it acknowledged that, you know, you could be brought back from the dead, you know, by a spell or by a priest. Yeah, and, you know, here we have Edge's admission of, you know, how much he feels for Rydia. Well, that heart, I forgot about that. Dang, True Alfarius, I'm gonna remember that one. Oh, and you know, we have Rydia has returned to the land of the summons. The summon child does not know the difference between humans and monsters. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I think this makes it one of the only games in the Final Fantasy series where there are good monsters. Like, the only other one I can think of is that you can recruit monsters in 10-2. Yeah, in 10-2. But yeah, you know, I never realized that, yeah, 4 has good monsters. Interesting. So here's something that like I never like really understood. Yeah, Yang ascends to the throne. there kind of, like, is no reason for it. I mean, maybe the king's old, and the king doesn't have a son, so Yang is the only one left. But there's nothing really that precedes it. Like, it's a very unprecedented. Like, it makes sense for Cecil, since Cecil was adopted by the king, and Cecil's like the hero of the world. But yeah, Yang is the only one of the people who rise to power that doesn't really make sense. Well, Wiseman, I mean like actual monsters, like the ones you fight in battle. Yeah, Jacob, 6 is very unbalanced, and I think a part of that is because everyone had their hand in the pot. Because, you know, Sakaguchi as producer worked very closely on it. It had 2 directors. Katase was one. I think Ito was the other one. And I know that Nomura had a huge part in development as well. So yeah, that game was like a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Oh yeah, you do fight chocobos in 7. Well, I guess I mean like the general Final Fantasy monsters. And I mean like, you know how in Dragon Quest, you know, you'll often have like a city full of monsters, or you'll have lots of good monsters. That's not something, you know, you really see in Final Fantasy. Yeah, you know, maybe you'll get a one-off, like a chocobo here and there, or like one here and there, but like, you know, as in like civilizations of monsters, or it being like a common thing for like monster society to have interactions with humans. You know, not common to Final Fantasy, except for 4, as we saw. Yeah, that has to be kind of weird, you know. The overworld now has relations with the dwarven world. By the way, if you guys don't mind, please like this video. It helps it get traction. Yeah, it's always a bit of a help, so I do appreciate it. I love how the dwarves are always jumping and spinning, jumping and spinning. They're, you know, really energetic guys. And here for Kain, this is the first time in the game we see him without his helmet. But he's not facing us, so we don't see his face. So like, it's a nice bit of symbolism that unlike all the other characters who have a kind of journey, and how Cecil's journey like begins to like peak with his mask being removed and us seeing his face, Kain only really begins his journey by the end. Yeah, Nomura, not that he helped direct 6, but that he had a huge part in, like, a lot of people had a part in development and in creating characters. So, for example, Setzer from Final Fantasy VI was created completely by Nomura. That's why Setzer shows up in Kingdom Hearts 2, because he's basically a Nomura character. And here we get the visual of the second moon flying away. Yeah, really nice bit of graphics for the ending here. They did put in they did go the extra mile in making sure, like, you know, the ending and the sort of fulfillment of the prophecy of the moon searching for its own light. You know, that it had a worthwhile visual. Like, for 1991, that is very impressive. Like, again, like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like, just impressive for 1991. You know, and this was the first new RPG for the SNES. One that wasn't a port. I like the added flowers to Cecil's room here. You know, that's a bit nice. And here we go, the coronation and wedding. Well, I think they're already wed. You know, you can see the double bed for Rosa. Or maybe they were married like just before this? You know, interesting. Have to look over this ending again. Yeah, like they didn't bother like drawing just one big bed. They just put two beds next to each other and called it a day. Okay, yeah. What's coming up is a combined wedding and coronation. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Nomura has good ideas, just a questionable execution when he's in charge. Like Setzer and Shadow, probably turned out better than better than they would have been, since he didn't have complete control over Final Fantasy VI. He just like kind of created the character and drew them and gave it to the other developers, but he did have a hand in creating the personalities. They are his creations. A Final Fantasy town I would like to settle down in. Have to think about all the Final Fantasy towns. And we have all the... He jumped on the throne. I think he only got away with it because he knew it was Cecil's. Goes for the Dwarven girl. That's kind of funny. I like how Edge turns away when Iridia shows up. But then he tries to put on a brave face. It's funny. Okay, and Cecil is now King of Baron. He is technically the rightful heir, and everybody fist pumps. Except for the people who don't have a fist pump animation, of course. Like if you notice, like the two dwarves there and the priest did not fist pump. Oh, guys, we are done. We have completed Final Fantasy IV. Yes, and I have completed my first stream. Quite happy with that. I am very happy. I think this stream went mostly well. I mean, speaking of the entire series, I do think it went well enough. Except for, like, some setbacks here and there. Such as, me accidentally turning off the system. Yeah, I won't forget that one. But yeah, the episodes went how I wanted to pace them for the most part. And even with turning off the system, that allowed us to see the Cave of Trials. Here we have the team. The Final Fantasy IV team was 14 people in total, and a few other people who did a little bit of work here and there. Like, for example, I know that Nomura and Kitase, this was the first mainline Final Fantasy that they contributed to. Because Kitase did a lot of the writing work for Final Fantasy Adventure, Seiken Densetsu 1. But this was the first one that, they added a little bit, just a little bit, for a mainline game. And, like, after this, they would, like, begin to gain prominence little by little in the series. Charlie, I'm not dying here. It's not as if that when this stream ends, the Lord takes me, I'm gone, I am taken to heaven, and there will never be any streams on this channel again. I will not be streaming tomorrow because I am right now putting all of my energy and strength into finishing the Final Fantasy IV video. and that really requires a lot of my time and energy. The next game will be Super Mario RPG. Hopefully I will begin that on Thursday. Just look out for the notifications and stuff, and my Twitter, of course. And yeah, we will begin that then. I am looking forward to that. I haven't played that in a few years, but I am looking forward to it. I am really looking forward to it because, it has a lot of variety. There's a lot of little things you can do, like the waterfall games and barrel games and minecart and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot to Mario RPG, and the battle system with all of the timed attacks is really fun. So yes, I am looking forward to that. No, Medicare, I am not a disembodied voice. But if I have legs, that is still in question. That's a part of the lore. You guys don't know if I have legs or not. Looking at the chat. Yeah, this is a pretty happy ending. I do think Final Fantasy VIII has a pretty happy ending, all things considered. Yeah. Alright, guys. We are done. It says the end. The Final Fantasy theme is playing, and my voice is raspy because I did a lot of recording yesterday. So, thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this series. I will see you for Super Mario RPG. Please like the video, guys. If you want to support me on Patreon, you may do so for $1 a month. Thank you for watching, and God bless you all. And I am out. Thank you, everyone.